Hello, welcome back to another video and another Sunday Reset podcast kind of vibe. So, as you know, if you are tuning back in, this is a space for me to really come and let you know some of the thoughts and the concepts and themes that I've kind of been experiencing throughout the week that I want to bring up and discuss to see if anyone has kind of been in the same vibe and feeling the same things that I have. But if you're new here, that's exactly what this is. I started this series not too long ago. Literally, this is the second video. So thanks for tuning in. And we literally just discuss themes that and topics that have been on my mind very heavily recently. And it's something new for me because I have really been enjoying content that is raw, unfiltered, unedited, and just straight from the heart. And I feel like that's exactly what this series is. And it's something that aligns with me. So let's go ahead and get into today's topic, which is there is no such thing as a self-made man. So today's topic is a little bit of an ego death for me because I am someone who feels like I have to do it myself all of the time. Like for me, a project would not be successful in my eyes if I had thought that, I had help, So I've come to realize over the 24 years of my life and counting that there really is no such thing as a self-made man. Now, this is a quote from George Matthew Adams, and I also have notes here. So if you see me continuously looking over here, it's because I do have notes that I refer to because I do have to get all of that out of this brain, baby. It's a lot going on up there. So that is a quote by George Matthew Adams, and this theme is just recurring in literally everything. When you think about it, let's break it down to some of the structures that we see, right? If you can't be president unless people vote for you. You can't be president unless you have a group of individuals who back you and support you and donate and help you get to where you're at, right? So there's no really such thing as a self-made man. Yes, we have really popularized and romanticized getting it out the mud, quote unquote. And honestly, I don't really know how I feel about that because I'm going to move you over here a little bit just because I feel like the lighting might be better. And I just really don't know how I feel about that because, yes, there is a sort of humbleness that comes with getting it out the mud for some people. Not for all, but for some people at least. And it's cool if that is your reality, right? We admire people who do that, but sometimes we kind of look up to people who do that a little bit too much to the point where it kind of is to our detriment, if that makes sense. And I really was thinking about this topic as it pertains to me because I am so set on being successful. I'm so set on being able to provide for others, and I'm so set on making it to where I want to go so that way I can do the things that I want to do for other people. And it's to the point where I don't even want to accept help because I feel like I've been helped enough. When you are working on something and you're asking for help at every single step of the way, and it gets to the point where it's like, I don't even want to ask for help anymore. I just want to figure it out myself. And that's cool. But when it gets to a point where you genuinely have no idea what to go or what to do next, what's the next step to take? How do you even get from point A to point B? So that's the case where it's okay to ask for help. Nobody's going to look down on you for asking for help. They're actually going to look down on you for not asking for help because the resources were unlimited. And so this is an ego death for me because, like I said, I'm very set on being successful. That's not a question in my mind, really, as far as my life trajectory goes, in my opinion. I feel like it's just a matter of time that will happen for me. And not to say it's not even happening right now. I am experiencing success right now. And so I'm really happy about that. However, I wouldn't have been able to experience this success unless I had help from other people. And basically what I'm getting at is that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to need a little extra assistance with something. When we think about the most influential people, the richest people in the world, they don't even have to be influential. They can just be wealthy, right? They didn't get there just by doing it themselves. They got there because they had support groups. When you think about it, when we go to university, if you've ever gone to university and had, a formal like 4-year educational experience, you join clubs. Those clubs you join gets you connected to other people who get you connected to other people, right? You don't just go to university and take all your classes, never ask for help, and then when you graduate, you get into like one of the top jobs that you were looking for, right? That rarely ever happens. You always have help. You might go to an office hour to ask your professor for help with something that you've been struggling on. You might join this marketing club, and that marketing club helps you to get connected to a conference, and that conference helps you get connected to employers, and that helps you to get a job, right? So there's no such thing as ever like doing it completely by yourself. And I think that's something that we really, really, really need to let go of, because it's really affecting the way that we're moving and the time that it takes for us to reach our success. Like, I'm sure if somebody, let's just say like Microsoft, isn't that the one that started in somebody's garage? I'm pretty sure it was Microsoft or something like that, or Google. It might have been Google. But imagine that they didn't even ask for permission to use that garage. They just were like, you know what, we're just gonna stick it out in the car, we're just gonna stick it out in the computer lab and then reach maximum capacity, and then they gave up. Or it would have taken them 10 years longer to get to the point where they wanted to go because they were so afraid to ask for help in the beginning. So I think that's an ego death that I've been experiencing, and maybe some other people have been experiencing this too. But referring to my notes, like I said, we have to just get rid of the shame that we feel when it comes to asking for help. And I understand that there are some things that I truly think that we need to go through alone. I can't give solid examples, but when it comes to personal growth, right? Personal development, which is something that I am heavily involved in, as far as like, even on my channel, I have personal development content. I'm super into personal development. I'm always looking for ways to get better. But there's some things about personal development that you can't just be like, hey, can you help me with this, right? This is something that you need to go through on your own. You can ask for help with things like getting in the gym, working on a meal plan, working on a workout plan, what books to read. But you can always lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. So I say that to say, and I don't know why today it looks so dark, so I apologize, but I say that to say, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. So when you ask for help, you have to use those resources accordingly. Personally, if someone came asking me for help, I am always more than willing to help anybody. But I'm not willing to help the people who I give consistent advice to, and I don't see them taking that advice and using it. That's how you burn bridges. So when I say like ask for help and use the help that you got. It's like networking, like when you are networking with someone and they're giving you all this valuable information, and then you just sit on it. You don't use it at all. You never take that out of your pocket and apply it to real life situations, because it's almost like it's going to make you better, but you don't want to be better just yet. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine if you don't want to reach that level yet. Sometimes we have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? Our comfort zones are literally comfort, but comfort zones, what they say is like your comfort zone is where your dreams go to die, because you have to be willing to put yourself outside of your comfort zone in order to step into the life that you feel that you are truly made for, when it comes to stepping into your purpose, stepping into alignment, stepping into success, and whatever that looks like for you. So that's why they say your comfort zone is literally where your dreams go to die. And I say that to say, you have to step out of your comfort zone when it comes to asking for help. I'm the type of person who needs to step out of my comfort zone when it comes to asking for help, because I get nervous to ask for help. It makes me feel sometimes that like I'm incompetent in a way. Like, oh, I'm asking for help because I don't know how to do this, but I should know how to do this. And that's not true at all. Like, you're not supposed to know how to do everything. And that's exactly why God puts these resources, the universe puts resources into your life and people into your life, because they know that person is going to help you get to point A to point B. For example, recently, I'm about to pull it out real quick for you guys. I just finished reading The Alchemist. Great book. If you haven't read it, you most definitely should. This was a very easy read. It was only maybe like 160-ish pages, so you could read this in a week. I definitely recommend, especially if you feel like you are on somewhat of a spiritual journey. This is definitely going to be it. But this book is the epitome of there is no such thing as a self-made man. So the timing of me reading this book was also really crazy, because I had just picked it up because I kept hearing people talk about this book. I'm not going to lie. It's like one person after the other. And then the word alchemy just kept coming up. And like a lot of the things that I was watching, alchemy and alignment and things of that nature. So I was like, okay, maybe. And, I'm just going to, it was on my list. So I said, I was looking for another book, and I was going to get The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. But then I was like, you know what? The universe, I feel like, is telling me to read The Alchemist. So I just went ahead and bought it. And I am so glad that I did, because it literally nailed the point of there's no such thing as a self-made man, like into the wood. Like, it just nailed it all the way home. So in this book, I'm not going to spoil it for you or anything. I definitely want you to read it for yourself. But he goes on a journey, right? And he goes on a journey to discover his treasure and to find out where his treasure is. But along the way, he meets all these people that help him get closer to the goal. But at the end of the day, he had to ask for help. Sometimes he was even just offered help without even asking for it. But you have to be humble enough to accept that. You have to be humble enough to know when it's time to ask for help, and know when it's time to just listen, and know when it's time to observe, and know when it's time to take a step back and try again. So that book definitely nailed it all the way to the phone. But sorry. All that to say, there's no such thing as a self-made man. And in the book, one of the most famous quotes is, let me see if I can find it super quick. It's something about, I'm going to probably just have to summarize it because I kind of know it, but I didn't want to butcher it. But basically, the whole point of this book is just saying that, I wish I had it, because I didn't start highlighting until like page 50, because I realized this is my book, I can highlight. But the whole point of the book is, when you want something and when you declare that this is something that you want, the entire universe will conspire to help you achieve it. And so when the universe is putting people in your life, when the universe is putting jobs, when the universe is putting things, resources into your life, use that. That's not something that they're just putting into your life for no reason. They're putting that into your life for you to use to take the next step on your journey, because it knows exactly what you want and it knows exactly how to get there. But you need to see for yourself that everything that it's placing into your life is literally being placed into your life for a reason. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Asking for help is the best thing that you can do for your future self and for your current self, because it's going to help bridge the gap of knowledge. And now you can be the person to help someone else. At the end of the day, I need to swallow my pride and ask for help more. I have a lot on my plate and I struggle with asking for help because I believe that I'm supposed to be able to handle that. And in a way, I can handle it, but I can't handle it unless I ask for help on some things to get taken off my plate, some things to get moved to the next week. Not everything's a priority. So there's no such thing as a self-made man. And I want to end off by asking you, what does that mean to you? What does there's no such thing as a self-made man mean to you? And how does that consistently show up in your life, in the books that you're reading? Do you feel that the universe is putting people into your life and resources into your life for you to use? Or are you having to kind of go out of your way to find it? There's some things that I've had to go out of my way to find too. But isn't that the beauty of the journey, right? There's so much self-discovery and things of that nature on that kind of journey when you have to go out of your way, because sometimes you have to change your environment. And when you change your environment, there's a world of possibilities that opens up with that as well. So just remember, there are family connections that you can use. There are networking connections at your job, at your university, in your friend group. There's clubs that you can join, even outside of school. They have Toastmasters everywhere. They have Greek organizations, even post-grad. There is different sort of social clubs now. Like there's running clubs, there's tennis clubs. Like use your resources accordingly. There is so much to be taken advantage of in a good way. Please emphasis on that, in a good way. But use your resources, and you're not going to be able to do it alone. There is no one in this universe, I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, who has done it alone. And that's the beauty of it, right? We're all meant to pull each other up. We're literally all meant to pull each other up. So that's all that I have for you today. I appreciate you for tuning in to today's Sunday podcast, Sunday Reset podcast, where we're talking about different topics that have just been crossing my mind recently that I've wanted to kind of elaborate on and talk to you about and see how you feel about this topic, and if there's anything that we could do to help each other to reaching our goals as far as whatever these topics concern. So if there's anything that you need help with in the comments that you've been struggling with recently to help you get to your goals a little bit faster, please let me know. I would love to help you. If there's anyone else, who might be in the comment section looking for help, like we can all help each other out here. And that's exactly what this community is all about. Now, my name is Stephanie. If I didn't introduce myself, my fault. And I am a personal development, travel, and lifestyle content creator. And I just love to take you on a journey where we grow, glow, and go around the world. So if that sounds like something that you're into, definitely do me a favor and hit that red button to subscribe. And if you did like this video, please give it a like, because that'll suggest to the algorithm that this is a good video for others to watch as well. But other than that, I really appreciate you for tuning in, and I will see you next Sunday or in the next video, whenever that comes first. Love you. Bye.